I'm here to announce that this morning the Riverside County District Attorney's Office filed criminal charges against David and Louise Turpin. You know that as the Paris child abuse case. What I would like to do today is first tell you what we've charged and the potential consequences of those charges, and then tell you a little bit about the why we charged the case and give you a snapshot of some of the evidence. Of course, I do want to tell you up front, and I'll probably mention it again, this is an ongoing investigation. We are at the beginning, not the end. We do have enough information to go forward and file charges, and that's what we'll be discussing today. The charges that we filed are the following. We have filed 12 counts of violation of Penal Code Section 206 against both David and Louise Turpin. That is torture. We filed 1 count of a violation of Penal Code Section 288B1 against David Turpin, which is lewd act on a child by force or fear or duress. We've filed 7 counts of violation of Penal Code Section 368B1, which is abuse of a dependent adult. We filed 6 counts of 273AA, which is child abuse or neglect. We have filed 12 counts of false imprisonment. The date range of these charges, they range from 2010 to the present. And the physical location, of course, is in Riverside County, alleged to have occurred in Murrieta and also Paris. If convicted of these charges, if convicted of all of these charges as currently filed, these defendants are facing up to 94 years to life in prison. The case has been moved to Department 54 of the Riverside County Courthouse, and we will be asking for bail to be set as scheduled. What that means is the normal bail given what we have filed, and that will be our request that bail be set at $13 million per defendant. Now what I'll do is tell you a little bit about the why and give you some snapshot of the facts of this case. It is just that. It is just a snapshot. And I will afterwards, I will open it up for questions, and I'll do the best I can to answer your questions. But as you probably know, there is much we still don't know, and there are many things I can't answer. So these are the facts. First, a quick caveat. As I've said, it is an ongoing investigation. It is a detailed investigation. We're going to go about this the way we always do, meticulously and carefully. As we always say here at the office, it's more important that we get it right than it is to do it fast. We're fully prepared to seek justice in this case and do so in a way that protects these victims from further harm. So the brief overview, I'm providing a brief overview to you of the facts in the hope that anyone with additional information about these defendants, about these victims, about these crimes, will come forward and talk to the District Attorney's Office. These individuals, first what I want to tell you is these individuals sleep all day and are up all night. All 13 of the victims, including the defendants, typically go to sleep around 4 or 5 in the morning, sleep all day, and then be up all through the night. The victims report that as a punishment, starting many years ago, they began to be tied up. First with ropes. One victim at one point was tied up and hog-tied. And then when that victim was able to escape the ropes, these defendants eventually began using chains and padlocks to chain up the victims to their beds. These, as I said, these were a form of punishment meted out on these children and these adults. These punishments would last for weeks or even months at a time. The evidence is that 3 victims were chained up at the time the police first knocked on the door at the home in Paris. The defendants were able to get 2 of the victims unchained before the police actually entered. An 11 and 14-year-old were unchained as the police stood at the door, while a 22-year-old remained chained to a bed when the police entered the home. Circumstantial evidence in the house suggests that the victims were often not released from their chains to go to the bathroom. The 17-year-old victim that escaped had been working on a plan with her siblings to escape this abuse for more than 2 years. She escaped through a window and took one of her siblings with her. That sibling eventually turned back, became frightened and turned back, and went back into the house. The neglect and abuse started when the family lived in the Fort Worth area of Texas, with the parents at one point living apart from most of the children and dropping off food from time to time. The defendants lived in Texas for 17 years. In 2010, they moved to Murrieta, California, and in 2014 moved to their current residence in Paris, California, both, of course, in Riverside County. The abuse and severe neglect intensified over time and intensified as they moved to California.